Sunlight reached across the floor, a softer breeze than yesterday. Coffee cooling by the window side, thin white curtains start to sway. The morning air still feels like spring, but summer light is on its way. Everything is slowly changing without a sound. The days are getting longer now, shadows fade into the light, warm air drifting through the room. Nothing rushing, nothing loud. Spring is slowly stepping back while summer waits beyond the sky. Leaves are brighter than before, green reflections fill the wall, barely warm against my skin. I can feel the season call. Something new is getting closer, little by little. The days are getting longer now, shadows fade into the light, warm air drifting through the room. Nothing rushing, nothing loud. Spring is slowly stepping back while summer waits beyond the sky. Open windows, quiet moments, halfway into something new. Not goodbye, not quite summer, just the changing afternoon. The days are getting longer now, sunlight resting on the floor. Every breeze feels different now than it ever did before. Spring is slowly stepping back, but I still want a little more. A season turning quietly right in front of me. Sunlight spilling on the street, people moving slow outside. A lighter jacket than before, warmth arriving with the sky. Tiny sounds of summer start floating through the open air, but spring still lingers in the wind, like it doesn't disappear. We are somewhere in between, cool mornings and brighter days. Windows open, curtains move, everything begins to change. Not quite summer, not goodbye, just a softer kind of phase. Green shadows across the floor, cold drinks melting slowly now. Every hour feels a little closer to the middle ground. Nothing happens all at once, it gently fades. We are somewhere in between, cool mornings and brighter days. Windows open, curtains move, everything begins to change. Not quite summer, not goodbye, just a softer kind of phase. late summer, not goodbye. Just the season changing me. The air feels different today, lighter than before. Green reflections on the road, sunlight dancing through the trees. Every window open wide, catching small familiar breeze. Nothing special happening, still I wanna walk a while. Warm air and green light falling softly all around. Late spring slowly fading out without making any sound. Something changes in my chest when the seasons turn this way. Footsteps moving with the shade, music low inside my ears. Longer days begin to blur into quieter atmosphere. Not the start of summer yet, but I know it's getting near. Warm air and green light floating through the afternoon. Every little passing moment feels a little brighter too. Something changes in my chest when the seasons turn this way. Open sky above the city, soft wind moving through my clothes. I don't need a reason lately, just to follow where it goes. Warm air and green light resting softly on my skin. Spring is slowly growing distant while another day begins. Nothing loud and nothing sudden, just the world slowly shifting. I can feel it changing now, little by little. Bright light across the avenue, another slowly warming day. People passing under trees, soft shadows moving with the wind. The air still carries bits of spring, but summer's getting closer in. I can feel it changing more than yesterday. It feels like almost summer now, in the middle of the day. Warm breeze flowing through the city, pulling all my thoughts away. Still a little soft like spring, but brighter in a different way. Cold glass sweating on the table, sunlight resting on my hands. Every hour feels a little closer to the season change. Nothing rushes forward, still it slowly moves. It feels like almost summer now, cloudless sky above the street. Windows open everywhere, the Longer afternoons, slower conversations, tiny moments start to glow. Not quite summer yet, but every little sign already lets me know. It feels like almost summer now, floating softly through the air. Every color looks alive, every breeze feels new somewhere. Spring is fading peacefully without really disappearing. Right between two seasons, I wanna stay a while.
Sleeves and brightest skies, warm wind moving through the town. People walking slower now, like the season settled down. Tiny reflections on the glass, trees alive and deeper green. Everything feels more awake than it did a month ago. Sunlight on my sleeves today, soft heat drifting through the air. Every step feels easier, like there's something changing there. Summer in my hands, but I can almost feel it near. Cold drinks sweating by the chair, music low beside the street. Nothing loud or overwhelming, just enough to feel complete. Little moments start to stay longer than today, shining softly through the leaves. Every hour feels warmer now, moving gently with the breeze. Not quite summer in my hands, but closer every week. Longer shadows underneath the trees, open windows all around. Something inside the sunlight without making any sound. Sunlight on my sleeves today, floating lightly through my mind. Spring is slowly growing distant as the days stretch out in time. Nothing sudden, nothing dramatic, just a softer change in light.
The sunlight stays a little longer now on every street I know. Warm wind moving through my hair, trees are glowing in the light. People laughing somewhere far under skies completely white. Every day feels wider now, like the season opened up. Everything feels brighter than before, colors moving softly through the day. Spring is still alive inside the breeze, but summer light is slowly on its way. Nothing rushes, still I feel the change. Cold shadows underneath the leaves, music echoing quietly. Every sidewalk holds the heat, just enough to make me smile. Not the middle of summer yet, but it's getting close somehow. feels brighter than before. Sunlight resting gently on the walls. Every little moment feels awake, like the air remembers how to glow. Nothing sudden, still it slowly grows. Open sky above the buildings, longer afternoons again. I don't wanna hurry through this middle space between the seasons. Everything feels brighter than before. Warm light falling softly on my skin. Spring is fading somewhere in the distance, while another season settles in. Not too far, not fully here, just enough to feel it near. The air keeps changing quietly, day after day.
The curtains move without a sound. Warm wind fills the room again. Light reflections on the floor. Quiet streets beyond the glass. Nothing special happening, still I hope this moment lasts. The season changes slowly through the open air. These open window days feel softer than before. Spring is fading quietly through the sunlight on the floor. Every breeze reminds me something new is getting close. Cold drink melting by my side. Music low beside the bed. Cloudless sky above the city, floating gently overhead. Everything keeps moving without needing words. These open window days move slowly through my mind. Warm light resting on the walls as the hours drift by. Every breeze reminds me summer waits somewhere nearby. Long afternoons, quiet shadows, green reflections everywhere. Not quite summer, still I feel it growing softly in the air. These open window days, I want them to remain right between the changing seasons, balanced perfectly this way. Nothing rushed and nothing distant, just enough warmth to stay. The air feels new again without changing too much.
Sunlight flickers on the road, warm wind moving through the trees. Every corner of the city feels alive so easily. People talking by the cafe, cold drink shining in colors because the day feels clear. Everything feels lighter now than it used to. Light through the leaves, floating softly through the streets. Every shadow holds a little piece of changing heat. Not quite summer in the sky, still it shines a little brighter. Open windows everywhere, green reflections on the walls. Nothing dramatic ever happened, still I love these days the most. Light through the leaves, resting gently on my skin. Spring is almost out of reach while another season steps in. Nothing sudden, nothing loud, just the sunlight slowly shifting. The room feels warmer than before, even in the quiet. Curtains moving with the breeze, soft light resting on the bed. Cloudless sky beyond the glass, blue and white above my head. Nothing really changed at once, still the air feels new somehow. Everything is slowly turning warm, day by day without a sound. Spring is drifting farther now, like a memory fading out. Still I wanna stay right here, in this middle space a while. Cold drink circles on the table, music low inside the room. Afternoons keep growing longer, stretching softly into blue. Not the start of summer yet, but it's closer than before. Everything is slowly turning warm, sunlight filling every wall. Tiny changes in the air make me notice all at once how the seasons never rush. Still they always seem to move. Open windows, quiet breathing, long shadows across the floor. I don't need to go anywhere just to feel these days a little more. Everything is slowly turning warm, soft light settles on my skin. Spring is fading in the distance while another day begins. Nothing loud and nothing sudden, just the world changing again. The breeze feels different now, and I notice it. The sunlight lingers in the room, long afternoon has passed. Warm breeze moving through the blinds, quiet shadows on the floor. Every day feels softer now than it ever did before. I don't want this feeling to disappear too fast. Stay like this a little longer, right between the seasons now. shining by the window, music drifting through the air. Everything feels slow and gentle, like the world without a care. Tiny moments lately seem to mean much more. Stay like this a little longer, soft wind moving through the trees. Longer days and brighter colors floating quietly with me. Nothing dramatic, just enough warmth to breathe. Open sky, quiet daytime, no rush anywhere to go. Maybe that's the reason why I want these days to move slow. Stay like this a little longer before the season fully turns. Spring is fading into sunlight while the afternoon still burns. Nothing sudden, just a gentle change I've learned. I can feel the seasons shifting, but not all at once. Warm light resting on the wall, open windows all afternoon. Nothing feels unusual now, still I notice every bloom. Longer days became so natural without me realizing it. The air keeps changing quietly into something soft and bright. It feels like every day now carries sunlight differently. Spring is slowly disappearing into warmer memory. Nothing loud and nothing sudden, still it changes everything. Cold drinks melting on the table, music drifting through the room, soft wind moving through the curtains under skies completely blue. Maybe that's the reason why these moments stay. It feels like every day now moves a little slower here. Every breeze and every shadow makes the season feel more near. Nothing loud and nothing sudden, still I want to keep it here. Quiet streets, bright reflections, green shadows underneath the trees. Everything became familiar in the softest way to me. It feels like every day now holds a little more sunlight. Spring is fading into distance while the world keeps turning bright. Nothing dramatic ever happened,
they stayed in my mind.
The light stays longer now, even at the end of the day. Warm breeze drifting through the room, curtains moving quietly, shadows stretching on the floor. Under fading afternoon, everything feels soft enough to remember for a while. Before summer fully comes, there's a feeling in the air. Spring still lingers in the silence, floating softly everywhere. Nothing ends all at once, it slowly turns into something new. Cold glass resting by the window, music low beside my thoughts. Longer days became familiar without me noticing much. Every little change remained inside ordinary moments. Before summer fully comes, light keeps falling through the trees. Warmth arrives in quiet pieces, carried gently by the breeze. Nothing leaves completely, it stays somewhere underneath. Open windows, quiet daylight, green reflections on the wall. Maybe this is why I wanted time to move this slow. Before summer fully comes, I can feel the seasons shift. Spring is fading into sunlight without ever truly leaving. Nothing rushed and nothing distant, just another day beginning. The air keeps changing softly,